We are both live on Twitter Spaces and on YouTube. Make sure to join us. We are powered by Unstoppable Domains. You want to be unstoppable? Get you an unstoppable domain. While you're at it, go ahead and get you one of these G Media shirts. Because if you like us and you love us and you want to support us here on G Media, we need to make some money. So buy a couple sweaters, buy a couple t-shirts, just buy something because God dog, this market, it's so bare. It's so bare that I'm thinking great. But look, even behind me, the bear doesn't get me because I go bear hunting. And when I mean I go bear hunting, I go and I buy stupid head figures um, that look like a bear. What's going on, Ross?
I'm just browsing the news. What do you think of this? Swift is trying to get into blockchain, the Swift banking transfer system. I'm just like blown away that they're trying to sort of keep their head above water, and it's like just like get rid of that. Like do something new. Like get rid of the whole Swift name. Like I'm just like, what are you doing?
I don't. Should I remember Swift?
Like if you've sent wire transfers, it's terrible. It's always been terrible. It's been probably one of the worst financial tools ever invented.
Well, there is paper money.
I mean, no, it's worse. Paper money's like, here you go. Swift is like, oh, you got the postal code wrong. 5 days later, it's rejected. The wire transfers, like they want to take their brand and flip it into the blockchain. It's just like, why? Like, no, I look at this and it's so confusing to me that even they would pursue this. Like, I guess if they're going to tie it to CBDCs, that's even worse, right? Like, anyone that knows anything about crypto is like, don't touch CBDCs, bad idea.
CBDCs. Well, all right. Swift is still using the banking system. What's up? Good morning, good people. Wow. I mean, we really do have some YouTube fanatics. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 70. David Gokhstein's off. High Holy Week. Shout out to all my Jewish American friends and all my Jewish brothers and sisters around the country. Hope you are enjoying your new year, new start. I'm sitting here with Ross talking about Swift, talking about CBDCs. Um, some people like CBDs. I prefer THC, but we're talking about CBDC. Wow. So this morning, I don't have a ton of crypto news because, as you said, Ross, crypto is on vacation, and I mean vacation. Like it is taking a. I have the hiccups awfully. Excuse me. Yes, I do prefer THC over the CBD, but we were actually talking about CBDCs because CBD is a cheap knockoff. If you're gonna get the real stuff, get you some high quality ruts or something along those lines. Do you even know, Ross? Do you remember when what was the first thing I wanted to do when I got to Canada? So, folks,
Wait,
huh?
so I have a question. Are the THC drinks in Canada stronger than in the States, the same way our beer is?
Oh yeah, Ross. It was so. Just to let people know, back in August, Ross and I did a blockchain futures conference, and one of the first things I said, Ross, I want to go to a dispensary. So we get out to dinner, and I make no bones about it. I'm a THC connoisseur. I'm in the industry of cannabis. I run a fund, and Ross and I just stop at this very nice store, and I go, "Oh, I asked the guy a question. He's got no clue." I was like, "Hey, which one of these are indica?" And he's like, "Oh, it all just depends on the beverage you get." And I'm like, "Ross, this guy has no clue what he's talking about." You know why I knew he had no clue? It was written on the can. Like what it was written on the can, and the kid couldn't tell me. So I was like, "Oh, you got no fucking clue. You didn't even bother to look." So I get a couple of these things, And I don't know what it was, but I like slam it. Like I thought it was gonna be one, like maybe like a couple milligrams. Well, I slam this can, and I even look at Ross. I go, Ross, I think I fucked up. And he's like, what do you mean? And I go, Ross, I just slammed this whole can, and it was more like smoking like four. And I hold up, I'm like, I just smoked 4 of these in one sitting. And I just showed him like a blunt. And he goes, oh my God, are you gonna be okay? And I go, I don't know. I don't know. So fun fact, don't ever slam a can of cannabis in Canada uh, because it'll get you high. So never doing that again. Ross McDonald, he didn't even know what was going on. He just knew that his friend was no longer able to talk. And there was drool coming out of the side of my face. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Canada's 5% alcohol content. You go to the States. I was just over in the UK and I had a beer and it's like 2%. I'm like, what is this? This is designed for like children. Like this is not normal. I was actually driving a boat, like not a boat, like a canal boat with a top speed of 4 miles per hour, and I was having a beer, and David was like, hey, you can't drink. He's like, you're having a beer and you're driving a boat? It's like the top speed, if it had a collision with a toothpick, would bounce off of it. But yeah, the beer there, 2%. Come back to Canada, it's 5%. And it's just, why does Canada have such strong beer or cannabis drinks? What is it? What are we preparing ourselves for?
I don't know, but you guys definitely. Well, you guys know how to drink beer in Canada. That's for damn sure. I mean, it's almost like they go hand in hand with hockey.
Oh yeah.
And,
There's the occasional game where you have beer in the water bottle during the hockey game. That's true.
Ross, tell the truth. You are in like, so if anyone doesn't know, Ross is like the ultimate hockey player. He'll play 4 games in a day. Like he's ridiculous. He'll play 4 to 5 games. I don't know how you play 4 to 5 games in a day though, Ross, of hockey. Like that's just, I'm tired after watching you for 5 seconds. Because no, the inside of your legs have to be so strong to play hockey because you're like stopping and starting and your quads are pretty good. I mean, just something that like us Americans that never get on the ice would never understand until we actually get on the ice. You want to see a funny thing? Ask a football player to go play hockey. It's like looking at a fucking idiot try to run down the street.
You build up the resiliency to it. You play enough games where a few people don't show up and you're good. It's no big deal. There's always people eating bananas at hockey, and they're like, super healthy, and they're like, oh, I'm not getting cramps. And who's the first person to get cramps and drop out? Banana guy.
Banana guy goes first.
Oh, every time.
Buffalo is not part of Canada. It is not. I was born in Buffalo, so leave it alone. Leave Buffalo alone. It's like we are not part of Canada. Well, I guess I don't know. Yeah, no, Buffalo is not part. What? Okay, whoever is behind the G Media account today, chill. Oh, all right. Right on. Well, look, folks, David's out today. Ross and I are talking. We're not going to argue like David and I do unless, hold on. Ross?
Yeah?
Quick question. You just have to answer it truthfully.
What?
If you were an American citizen, no, you are a Canadian citizen. And I think David and I get into some heated battles. But you're a Canadian citizen, so that means you get free healthcare, kinda, right? You get some level of healthcare. Is your healthcare? You've seen how American system works. Do you think your healthcare is better than ours?
Yeah, I would say generally yes.
Okay.
Right? Like you can just go and get health, get treated anywhere for anything. But it's changing. It's not fantastic. So, for example, let's say you fracture a bone and you go to the hospital and you think it's fractured, you don't know. Like you need medical attention. Like you can't walk or whatever, but you're not in a ton of pain. You will sit there for 2-4 hours before you get treatment. There's a major shortage of hospitals and doctors, and it's really, really bad service. And it has been for the last decade. If you need to have an ACL repaired or an MCL repaired, you're probably going to wait 6 or 9 months, and your leg is going to be full of scar tissue. Unless you pay and you go to the front of the line. You pay like $3 or $5 grand, which is not bad for that kind of thing. You go to the front of the line. I have a friend who's got osteoarthritis in his toe. He thought it was gout. 12 months to see a specialist, or you pay $3 grand, you go to the front of the line. And it's like, so what is this? This is not a great system that's happening right now. My dad needed back surgery. My sister lives in just outside of San Jose, so he got a green card, and so he was kind of on both sides of the system. Where did he get treatment? In the States. He went down, had as a senior on a green card. He got amazing treatment at Kaiser, and didn't get that in Canada.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is he just went to Kaiser. Kaiser Permanente, shout outs. I'm not going to shout out Kaiser Permanente yet because they need to be sponsoring us here over at Gokhshtein Media. That's right. We can be a blockchain company, but we'll take your corporate pharmaceutical and hospital money. But no, Kaiser Permanente, dude, everyone gets to use them. Like, even people on like welfare can use Kaiser Permanente. It's really good service. One of the reasons why I'm a big advocate, right? And so one of the reasons I was asking you that is that I've been having this debate about should healthcare in the United States be free? And I'm of the belief kind of closer to what you just said is real. Like, you can't have it free. And I think that's the point. Like, you shouldn't have it free. Shouldn't. But those who can afford it should be required to pay what the government pays. And the government pays about $2,500 per Medicaid and Medicare person. So if they're paying $2,500, why can't an employer or somebody else get that same rate? Wouldn't that make sense? Yeah. So like, let them pay, and this way, even like low income people could get the same insurances like those folks that qualify for that Medicaid and Medicare stuff. Now it's just low income people who don't qualify for those programs getting those programs. And that's why I kind of ask people, I'm like, look, at least let people buy into a cheaper system, one in which they can get the basic care. And if you want more stuff, you pay for it.
Yeah.
Better than being out of the system altogether.
I hear these stories about people in the States where they go to a hospital and they're in need of some serious medical attention, but they have no health care, and so they're turned away. Like, that should not happen if that is true.
Well, they're not turned away from ERs. What they are is they're like, hey, you're not dying right now, so we're not going to do that surgery. We're going to give you an Advil.
That sucks.
Yeah. And then when your kidneys finally do rupture, or like you finally are like bleeding, then they're like, okay, we're going to do that surgery that we should have done 6 months ago. We'll do it, but we're also going to charge you for it. And then you end up in what is called medical debt. And medical debt is way worse than like corporate debt. Like, hey, if you get a debt from a bank or something, because these hospitals, they come for you. They come for you while you're sick. Yeah. Oh, dude. A hospital will ask you, they will walk into your room with their little cart. Lady pushes it in and she's like, hi, Mr. Smith. Yeah, we're going to need your insurance information. Oh, you don't have it? Okay, we'll be back. And then a nurse comes in and says, well, looks like you're going to be discharged to a smaller room.
Oh, no.
So they wheel you down the hall to the smaller room. And then the lady comes back with a little desk the next day. Oh, Mr. Smith, how you doing today? Oh, you still don't have insurance? Okay, thanks. And then the nurse comes back in. So it looks like we're going to discharge you out. Don't worry. All that rectal bleeding, it'll stop at some point, we hope.
That's weird. I think you look at other countries that have got healthcare completely figured out, and smaller countries, right? Like the bigger the country, the more difficult it is, I would say, to manage this. Free healthcare in Europe, wealthy countries. It's like, how do you fix that in the United States? Like, it's just such a monster. Like, how can you get that back on track?
I don't know. Bugsy must not be here today. We're talking about healthcare and the cost of it. Bugsy has not insulted me on YouTube, so he's probably not in today. Clearly, David's fan base did not want to come over to YouTube. They clearly, they literally hate me, and they didn't show up. I'm okay with it. So it is 10:28 a.m. on the Eastern time. I mean, it is 7:28 here on the West Coast. My name is Akil Patterson. Welcome to episode 70 of The Breakdown. I'm here with Ross McDonald, who's filling in for David Gokhshtein while he goes on vacation to do something else. I don't know. Maybe he's going to get his hair dyed or his beard dyed. Yes, David dyes his beard. You know I'm going to get in trouble for that shit, huh?
I think so.
Oh, he's not even here now. Good. So we can make fun of him all we want. He has stepped away. That's right, folks. David Gokhshtein has stepped away from his phone. He is enjoying his day off, which everyone should. Everyone should enjoy their days off whenever they get a chance. So let's just get to some news. Let's see what other news stories we have out here. I told you crypto news is dead. Joe Biden is heading down to Florida. My prayers are out to all those folks in Fort Myers and throughout the Atlantic coastal region, who are dealing with the downfall from the hurricane damage of Ian. But Joe Biden is heading to Florida, and he's going to be talking to Ron DeSantis down in Florida. Ron DeSantis, get this, Ross. Ron DeSantis literally, when he was in Congress, voted against the bill to provide aid to people from Hurricane Sandy. And then, now that he's governor of Florida, he's like, I need money from the federal government. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? Like, oh, I need money from the government now to help all these people who are like out of their homes and without power. But when it happened to somebody else, he was like, no, don't send them money. Like, what a fuck. Go ahead.
The tough thing about a politician is that you either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain, right? There's your Batman quote of the day. It's just, there's so much happening, and by the end of your term, you can't have got it all right. At the end of your term, people hate you. That is how politics works. Like, am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, a lot of people are going to hate you because everyone's a little crying bitch. So that's why everyone cries. But there seems to be like the death toll I think it's over 150 people right now from the storm. So I look, I'm not against Biden giving the money. I just think it's going to be funny when Ron DeSantis has to sit there next to him while Joe Biden makes fun of him going, we're happy to help you, little Ronnie, like that kind of thing. Or we just troll him on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, the deal is back on. Yes, $44 billion. Elon Musk back in, says that he will pay the original $44 billion for Twitter.
I wonder why he changed his mind.
I think he just likes fucking with people.
Either that, or he's like, he was getting sued. He's just like, you know what? Fine. I'll just buy it.
But if he's going to buy, like, okay, first off, he's got the money to buy it. Yes, absolutely. But still, $44 billion, and his exit to get out of this, it's only costing him $1 billion. It cost him $1 billion to get out of this. So I don't know if it's going to be in his best interest, but as long as he agrees that it's part of, the what he wants, I mean.
Would you assume that as owner of Twitter that he would come in and make drastic changes fairly quickly, or slow changes over the span of a year or two?
That's a tough one.
Decision would flip crypto Twitter upside down. It's possible.
I don't know. Like I guess. Yeah, I think he'd do it. Yeah, fuck it. He'd do it.
Any of the problems that he would want to solve on Twitter are the types of problems where you can't flip a switch to solve it. You have to basically hire more people, put more resources towards it, fix the bots, fix the spammers, all of these issues. And then, he's going to target, free speech and allow that and correct things. None of this can happen quickly.
Oh, yeah.
If at all.
So I feel like he'll be hauled in front of like the court. And when I mean the court, I mean the Senate oversight hearing and congressional hearings. I mean, everyone's got a problem with him. Democrats, Republicans. I mean, I don't hate Elon Musk. I just don't think he should be involved in politics, only because you're an engineer, man. You guys are all weird. Full stop. That's my protest. I don't hate you, Elon Musk. You're just an engineer, and engineers are weird.
Yeah, that's not wrong. They think differently, but for certain problems, that's good. For other problems, that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, yep. Okay. Wow. U.S. healthcare. Here's some Vaseline and a Band-Aid. That's interesting that somebody wrote that. And apparently they're like, well, Biden's going to be Puerto Rican this week because, well, that's what he'll say when he's there. Joe Biden, full stop. He did create the ultimate gaffe. He went to an event for a dead congressperson and then called out her name. Like, where is she at? Like, she's dead, Joe.
At this point, how can you blame the guy? Like, how old is he? I forget how old he is. What can you expect? He can't get it all right. Or actually, you'll get most of it wrong. And for his age, would you expect that? Yes.
So just to let everyone know, the average age of a male is like 74. Joe Biden's like 79. We're on borrowed time here, people. Borrowed time.
Time to hang it up.
Yes. Look. You can hate Joe Biden, you can hate Donald Trump, but at the end of the day, those two people just need to go away and retire. Whatever happened to retirement, Ross? Like, how much of an ego do you have to say, I'm going to stick around and be president at 80 years old? Why? Why? You're at the end of your fucking life. Go fucking enjoy yourself.
I will say this for people that do retire. I know it's a difficult transition because you're working, you're busy, and then all of a sudden you're going to do nothing, go for brunch and watch Wheel of Fortune. Like, no, that's a bad idea. Your brain's going to shut down, your body's going to shut down, you need to stay busy. But go and do recreational things. These politicians that just want to keep going, 60, 70, 80, a terrible idea. Go do crossword puzzles, go to the library, go for a walk.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in wasn't always wrong, right? You used to retire, you would go do something else, you went back to your farm, you planted a garden, and then you gave your wisdom to some young guy that was like trying to, come up in the world, right? They're like, I'm the new senator from such and such. You ever seen those old time movies where like the young congressperson comes in and then he's mentored by the older congressperson who just retired, and they're sitting on the steps having a glass of fine Southern sweet tea. Yes, 6 pounds of sugar and 4 ounces of beverage. And they're just talking and they're learning and they're pontificating about the next future. Yeah, we don't get that no more. What we get is like old dudes are like, yeah, when I first got to Congress, I was 12. Now I'm still here and I'm 80. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do with your life?
That's messed up. But people vote them in, right?
Yeah, well, let's be honest. People are stupid. Okay. There's a movie like called The President or something. It's got I can't remember now. I got to look it up. But it was a Eddie Murphy movie where literally the guy who lost, oh fuck you, David, where the guy who lost, or no, the guy died with his mistress in the office. Everybody forgot about it, and all he did was cut out the guy's face and left the same last name as he did, and it just said "Reelect Smith," or they just put like a sticker over it, and they just they just cut off the face. And guess what? They voted for a black guy, and they didn't even know it, and he became senator. Like legit, it was a movie in the 80s or 90s. I can't. It's probably in the 90s because Eddie Murphy did have that string of really, really. Oh wow! David Gokhshtein, of all people, has just said that Akil and Ross love to stroke each other off.
What?
Yeah, he wrote that. He says we're born because we agree that our systems are broken and that white supremacy does exist, and just these like little things that we call facts. David's like, they're not facts. Okay, that's what you want to believe there, buddy.
If politicians had a shelf life, what would you set the age at?
If politicians had a shelf life, then yes, Julie, we can do brunch or something. Sometimes you can take me out to everybody eats or honey and milk. Ooh, milk and honey, milk and honey. I think that's the name of the place. You can take me to Milk and Honey, Julie. If I were to set an age limit, Ross, 75.
That's way too old.
I'm just look. I want to be very fair. But 75 years. Well, no, because that's when they also make like judges have to retire at 75. I think
that's way too high. I would probably go on the low side, say 60. Done.
I don't know. My mom's is a smart woman and she's in her 60s. And so yeah, 75, David. 75. Why don't you know what?
You're talking about like Futurama stuff where it's like, yeah, this person's body has completely failed, so we're going to put their head in a jar and they can still be the president.
Well, no, I don't want that. No. I'm just saying I think 75 the cutoff, like you're done at 75. You have to retire, forced retirement. So if you become president at 64, at 75, you're done.
That is so old. That is insane. That's wild.
You say it's old. Wait until you hit 70, Ross, and you're going to be like, I got a couple more years.
Yeah, but then I can go play squash and wear short shorts and do dumb stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and be like totally perverted wherever you go.
Yes.
Like old guys are hilarious because they could do shit and nobody cares. Like nobody's even looking at them.
Exactly.
They're like, look, I think, listen, Ross, like that comedian we were talking about that one time. If you make it to like 85, do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's the indicator that when you're that old, if you have intelligence, that's great. You should apply it and share it with other people. You should not be in charge of anything.
If I can barely control my bowel movements, I don't think you should have the nuclear secrets. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
All right. So if you have IBS, if you got irritable bowel syndrome and you are president, we automatically make you resign. That's going to be the future. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I believe that we should all retire from life at the age of 58 as best as possible. I'm aiming for that. One of these bull cycles, you will not see me. If we're on a 4-year cycle, I wish I would have gotten into crypto in 2010. I really do. I wish I was one of those early adopters that just bought a little, put it in a shoebox, hung out, watched some DVDs. Yeah. Oh, come. All David Gokhshtein is the biggest. Yeah, he's trolling. Trolling. Oh my God. Who's like your grandfather? Like your grandpapa? As a matter of fact, who really wants their grandfather in office? Who? Who wants their grandfather in office? My grandfather was a jerk.
What's the mandatory retirement for firemen? That's like 60. And that's a physical job, but typically at that point you're not like you're a fire chief or something, right?
Oh yeah. You're like actually still having to like do stuff, but most firefighters are done at like 40, 42.
Yeah, but that's mandatory retirement for a fireman or a fire person at 60, and they're not doing anything physical. So that's basically mental decision-making process off the top. They're 60, they're like, you're done.
60, no cap. David Gokhshtein. My grandfather is not Bernie Sanders. Just like I get insulted. I mean, left and right by my own friends. I mean, for God's sakes, Bernie Sanders is not my grandfather. Matter of fact, I don't even know why he says I like Bernie. He's like, you're a socialist. I'm like, I'm not a socialist. That is the worst part. I'm not one.
Yeah, it's very funny how everyone in the U.S. does politics, and in Canada, it's and other places around the world, it's completely different. Like in the States, you have this identity. You wear it on your chest. It's on your sleeve. You're like, this is me. I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. And everywhere else, they're just like, it's more fluid than that.
Well, yeah, because you like, okay, like say like I don't know, the Conservative Party doesn't work for you. You're like, you know what? All right, we're not going to vote for those bitches anymore. Next, in the Liberal Party, you're like, yeah, these motherfuckers didn't work either. Hey, the Workers' Party, you guys can find a party that works for you, and then they appoint their leadership. Us, on the other hand, we got two choices: shitty and shittier.
But it's funny because you look at crypto and you make your decisions. It's not supposed to be emotional. And you look at politics. In theory, it probably shouldn't be emotional either, and yet it completely is.
I learned a long time ago, the only emotion I want to have is the emotion of the sound of my pockets getting a little heavier.
If that made emotion either.
Yeah. Fuck your emotions. I used to like when those Trumpers were like, fuck your feelings. I'm like, yeah, fuck your feelings. Running around DC with pussy hats on. Legitimately. They were wearing hats, knitted hats that they were calling pussy hats. I wish I was kidding.
This is politics. This is weird.
Yeah. Like it was they ran around DC with these pink pussy hats, and I gotta keep saying that because that's what they were called, pink pussy hats. And then you had like these Trump Republicans were like, yeah, fuck your feelings, and now all is feelings. Even the Trump Republicans are like, oh well, we don't feel like we can trust elections. Oh, your feelings. Oh, fuck your feelings, all of you. Everyone is too emotional these days. Everyone. I honestly believe that. Listen, I'm animated, but I don't really care what you do. I don't care who you vote for. Look, most of the stuff that people talk about ain't going to happen. This is not. Most.
I'm a conspiracy guy. I love conspiracy theories for entertainment, but there's certain ones that I definitely think are true. One of those that I believe is that elections do not exist. They are selections. They are predetermined.
So you think elections are predetermined?
100%.
How?
Well, think about this. So the controlled by the 1%. Most people agree with that. There's enough factual information about that. Why could you control so much and yet they don't think politics are controlled the same way? Gotcha.
Okay, maybe you did.
No, but that's the thing with conspiracy theories. They can't verify them. So what value do they have? Not much.
They don't have much value, but they have enough value to say, no fighting today. But this is what you people come here. You notice Hector and them aren't here now. They didn't want to be on. Hector and them don't want to be on today. Why?
Yeah.
Where's Bugsy? I'm telling you, they actually like trolling David. I think they're all secretly in love with David. That's what that is. All of them. Some of our biggest shit starters, they're in love with David. David Gokhshtein, you have a lover that is trying to reach out to you. Call Hector. Help Hector out. Help Hector know that you are his friend and that you guys can build together. Just start building.
Let's put some people on stage. Let's see what one's up today.
Yeah, happy to do it. Let's go. Come up to the stage, hit that request button, see what you're doing today. We'd love to just talk to the community, check in, see where everybody's been at over the last couple weeks since we've been exclusively on YouTube. Hit that request button, come on up. Or if you want to, you can send me a DM. I can bring you on live with The Breakdown, episode 70, sponsored by Unstoppable Domains. Want to do something? Get yourself a unstoppable domain. Oh, yeah, brother.
Let me ask you a question. Have you bought an NFT domain, Akil?
Why do I have to buy one when Jess buys them all the time for everybody? Those you goddamn degens.
But I mean, one for yourself in specific, a personal one.
I have not bought one. I'll be honest, I have not bought one. Not because I don't want to, but because I just don't want to.
You should try it. It's actually pretty cool to think that you can have this wallet address that is secured with an NFT. It is very secure, and you go through the process, you do the research, and it's just like, wow, this is the door to smart wallets. And if a lot of people don't understand that, you gotta understand that going forward, because as the industry develops, this is going to be front and center.
Well, I've got my ledger, so I mean, I'm good for now. But I probably will have to go get myself my own domain, mainly because people are just going to start buying mine and just be like, yeah, now we're going to sell it back to you for $100 million. I'm just going to be like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Somebody squatted on all of the variations of Gokhshtein Media on TikTok, and they were like, yeah, I'll sell this back to you for $5,000, and if you don't send me the money in 10 minutes, it's gonna be 10 grand. And it's just like, who are you? You're like some sort of internet terrorist. Like, forget you.
Yeah, fuck them all.
I don't like that. Squatting on web domains and for social profiles. Like, it's a legitimate business, I guess, but pretty slimy.
But isn't that how people make a lot of money, though?
Oh, I bet you they make a fortune.
They make a lot of money.
Age. Welcome, DeFi Dan. How's it going?
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
What's up, DeFi Daniel? How you doing, my man?
Hey, yo, Kale, Ross. Doing pretty good, actually. Just chilling here at work.
Sweet. It's great.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one is requesting to speak.
You know
It's
that
just a YouTube thing lately.
Yeah, they like to insult me on YouTube.
How's that? Okay, so you guys are in... What? How's that work?
So when you come on YouTube, you can leave comments, and that's what I get. I get a whole list of people that like to insult me on YouTube normally. All David Gokhshtein followers and fans. You can tell who my fans are because they're like, oh, Ross and Akil are being real. They're speaking truth. And then David's fans are, that's a lie. It's all a lie. There's no thing as white privilege. It's a lie. I'm white and I grew up in a trailer park. And I'm like, yeah.
But hold on.
Yeah. I'm on YouTube Live looking. Man, I look hot. I look sexy.
Dude, always, man. You always look so sexy and hot.
Well, thank you, DeFi Daniel. I appreciate that.
That's besides the point, man. Like, but what I talk right now, is that on YouTube also, or?
Yeah, they can hear you on YouTube.
Oh, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah, they can hear you on YouTube. They love to talk shit YouTube at me.
Technology, man. Yeah, no, I've been listening to you guys all morning. Pretty cool show. You guys bouncing around between politics, Elon, and shit. That's awesome stuff. I think I don't think he was that clear. Like he can just like walk away and just pay $1 billion. Yeah, I think some conditions had to be met. Like he can just say, "Okay, deal's off. I'm out." That's why he was being sued, right? And I think he was gonna lose the fight. So he had no choice. I think he got fucked. Like seriously, I think he trapped himself, and now he has to buy it, or he's gonna be forced to buy it. I suppose might as well just do it without damaging Twitter. It's gonna look like if he lost the fight, he was gonna still get, I believe, and it was be a damaged goods, right? So why will he do that? So I think he fucks himself pretty good, but it's only 40-something billion, so it's a pocket change for him.
$44 billion, folks. $44 billion.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous.
Pocket change for him. That's also ridiculous. That's insane. Just pocket change for him. I'm sure it's gonna hurt. I think it's gonna hurt his ego more than money. But
what is it? 1/6 of his net worth? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's not much, but at the same time, what that is a massive liability. And I think from a business standpoint, what he's going to want to do is he's going to want to make sure that from this, his net worth goes through the roof, because then he's got all kinds of options of paying that down. Like obviously it'll be at like 0.005 interest rate, whatever he is doing or whatever he's leveraging, from his other equities. But like he's going to want to sort that out. There's going to be a plan, and I think that's going to come from more monetization of Twitter. Hopefully, they figure things out like monetizing Twitter Spaces, giving extra features, letting people run it from desktop. Like there are so many business models that are not available on Twitter Spaces right now, which I wish would be there. Want us to pay $100 a month, $500 a month? Great, let's do it.
Okay, so 1/6, I didn't know. I thought it was worth more than that, but 1/6 is quite a bit of money, so it's a pocket change for him. So even worse. But yeah, so are you guys like? For as much as I don't want to have Elon kind of fucking mess around with Twitter, this is kind of exciting, right? For Twitter, right? I mean, new line of thought, new ideas, maybe.
It's exciting, but I think it's terrifying as well, because
you don't shut it off, dude. You don't have to be here. None of us have to be here.
That's true, but you know what? There's a lot of businesses especially in crypto, where their entire business model hinges on Twitter. So something can go in another direction, just a few degrees, and their business is totally pooched. That's possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's right for them, right? What you just said, monetization and being afraid, it's gonna be okay for these businesses, right? That's what they want. That's what they're looking for, right? Ways to make money.
Yeah. I look at Twitter like cryptocurrency. If it's centralized, if your brand is all in one place and it's not spread across multiple platforms, if you're not in control of everything, if your website is not sort of ground zero for your brand, you're going to be in trouble at some point.
Yeah. Do you guys remember? This is nothing new. Do you guys remember when Twitter came out with Twitter catalogs? I think it's called catalogs, tweeting pages, some shit like that. So basically, you put your credit card on Twitter and you could buy stuff. Like
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it's 2016 15, 16, they rolled out. Yeah, I bought some stuff. I bought some shirts online on Twitter. And they also had a really cool feature. And this was actually Domino's feature. I don't know if you guys remember that one too, but if you just tweeted the pizza icon, you will get a DM by Domino's and ask you to reply with a yes if you want to order your favorite. So basically, emoji icon, get a DM, reply yes, and that's it. That's it. No, your favorites that are saved in the Domino's website are delivered to you, and it's all charged for that stuff. That was amazing. I used it all the time. I tweeted, if you go back to 2015, 16, I tweeted pizza emojis all the time.
Wow. That's great. They need features like that. Yeah, there's nothing happening with, really on Twitter. Like, there's so much that could be done.
I think that's a great idea. Like, I just tweet a burrito, and then all the burrito places that I need show up in my DMs, asking me if I want to get a Chipotle burrito or something like that.
Dude, yeah.
That would be so dope. Fucking talk about utility.
Seriously, no, Domino's is at the fucking forefront of food technology. That's why their stock is fucking rocketing all the time.
Yeah, but Domino's is also trash.
You'd be surprised.
No. This isn't up for discussion. This is facts. Domino's pizza is what you order when you're in college, because guess what? You need something to eat.
You went to different colleges.
All right. Other than one-off pizzerias, Akio, what chain of pizza is the best?
What chain?
Yeah, because obviously one-off pizzas are usually better.
Dude, if you're asking Akio, he's gonna tell you it's gonna be this Tuscan grand.
No, see. No. I hate to say it because I don't like the founder, but Papa John's is probably the best. Because they have really good crust, and they give you that garlic dipping sauce, and it's always like warm. Now, if you get it cold, you send that shit back and be like, yo, you sent me my garlic dipping sauce cold and hard. Fuck you. But yeah, Papa John's. What about you, DeFi? You're a Domino's guy, or?
Honestly, I hardly ever do pizza anymore, just because if the kids want it. But yeah, I do Domino's just because it's convenient for me. But
yeah, convenient. They have smaller like sizes and portions. They don't have I gotta buy a $23 pizza. You can be like, well, I can buy 5 of the $5 pizzas, or $8, and be done.
The job. Right. I mean, there's some locals here in town that Mama's Pizza, I think, something like that, and Magpies. I mean, there's a lot of that pretty local. They're good stuff. But then really, I mean, you're paying like $30 for a medium, and you're like, fuck that, Like, I just, the kids don't give a damn about organic, natural grown versus like fucking Domino's. They actually prefer Domino's. So.
Ross, what type of pizza guy are you?
I like Hawaiian pizza. Everyone hates pineapple on pizza. I love it.
What? No. Like, we didn't say what's okay. That's a different subject matter, Ross. We said what kind of pizza? Yeah, like you asked me a question. Now answer your question. The same one you asked me.
I don't really order from the chains. I get the one-offs around the corner of the pub. It's like some, they make it fresh around the corner. I typically don't order from a chain. If I have to, Canada's got one that's called Pizza 73. It's pretty good, but other than that, yeah, it's small one-offs for me.
Yeah, I just remember there's a place called the Sauce. It's actually really good. It's like thin crust, and they have some. But again, I'm not a big pizza guy.
Well, guess what? You don't have to be a big pizza guy. You just have to eat some pizza. Because guess what? In America, that's what you do. You order pizza, and then you drink bad beer, you have some chicken wings, you complain about your stomach hurting the next morning. That's American football season for you.
That sounds amazing, dude.
Yeah, yeah. In America, that's what we do. We drink bad beer, we watch really bad football games, we get hammered, we eat wings, we wake up the next day and complain about how we don't feel that well. That's what we do. That's America for you.
I'll tell you a story. I once heard late from David Gokhshtein, and he was like, I ordered a pizza. And I was like, no, you didn't. You don't eat pizza. Because he's always eating like celery and kale and water and more water and super food. And like, I ordered a pizza at like midnight and I ate the whole thing. And I was like, see, that'll kill you if you never do it. And a whole pizza at the same time, like, you gotta break yourself in for that stuff. You gotta work your way up to that when you don't have it.
I love the way you just used, you gotta break yourself in. Like,
I have the reputation as someone who can pretty much eat and drink anything. I'm just like, I'm a tank. You know, nothing really affects me. I'll go golfing with guys, and you know, they'll have like all this beer that we wasted. Now they're like, how are you not even buzzed? I have like Captain America's liver, and the same thing with food. You know, you're gonna eat something. You're gonna eat at a pub. Everyone's got sensitive stomachs now. Everyone's got celiac disease. You know, they can't eat bread. And like, I look at David. He eats so healthy. You know, for him to take a pizza on, that's like, that'll put you in the hospital.
You think his metabolism will not handle a slice of pepperoni?
I don't know. I think, you know, I've had family members who are super healthy and then they get cancer and then they die. And it's like, I think you need to test your body once in a while so that it can handle these things. You know, terrible foods with preservatives in them. If you never have that, and then you do on occasion, you're going to get destroyed. And that's just a theory that I have.
You know, yeah, I think you're right. When I was in college, I think it was my last year. There's a you know, the finals and all that the whole week, and I had a few really tough ones, right? And so like 2 weeks before the finals, I said like, fuck it, no beer, no junk food. I really just want to be healthy. I want to be like really prepared for my finals, right? I want to do really good. Like, I want to sleep 8 hours and all that. So I changed my entire fucking diet and the way I did. I got so fucking sick that week. Like, seriously bad. Like, bad sick. And it was the summer, so it was kind of weird, but I got the flu, I think, or something like that. I got I lived by myself, so I don't know what the fuck I had, but it felt like the flu. I was just completely fucking destroyed.
That's the food for sure.
Yeah, it probably what it was, yeah. So, yeah, my body was not ready for this, for being healthy, I suppose.
I feel like we should do more on Bitcoin Pizza Day next May. As a company, I feel like we should do more. We'd have a whole ton of people having pizza. But was it Pomp who started like a pizza company for that or something? What happened to that?
I don't know. It probably died along the way with like half his dreams and hopes.
Do you guys remember that he had some fucking exciting news? Like he like really pumped that shit up, and exciting news coming up next week or some shit like that, and we all thought, fuck, this is it, you know, this is it, going to the moon. Yeah. Pizza, right? And like, fuck that. Pizza.
That guy makes money by telling people, I'm gonna get you a job. It's like, I wonder what his success rate really is. Like, do people just hire people he like puts in front of them with like 0 to no credentials? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think people actually get hired? Because everybody always brings on, they're like, yeah, so like I'm head of blockchain informational tech structures in the mailroom, and I just want to say I'm so thankful for this job that he got me. And I'm like, let's Google this. You are the lowest level possible executive at the company. And when I mean lowest level possible, there's only 4 people at the company, and you are the 4th hire.
I don't blame someone for trying to level or trying to be professional. But yeah, sometimes it's like, everyone's a CEO of everything. And, you just have to take it with a grain of salt.
The funny part is that you need these people. Like seriously. Once you go up to a certain level in a company, a corporation, or whatever, your own company, you kind of like build yourself up. You need these people because they have this kind of weird hidden talents that they may not. It seems like they don't do shit the 99% of the time. That 1% of the time, they save your ass, and it's a big deal. It's weird. I know people like that. I've been held by people like that their titles are kind of made up. They don't make sense. But when push comes to shove, they pull through. They help the team. So yeah.
You struggled through that one there, didn't you, DeFi? You struggled through that one to make it make sense to yourself. Yeah, no, that lowest level executive, they can, and they're not even executives. They're just like somebody. They're like the fall guy. Do you know what else I found out? A majority of these companies, very oddly enough, some of them are making billions of dollars, and like 80% of their staff isn't actually staff. It's just people who are subcontractors. Making a couple billion, and you've got subcontractors, no health care, no benefits. They don't even give them a fucking Bored Ape. Like, that should be a retirement plan, is that if you don't give me like benefits, you at least like give me a fractional share of your Bored Ape. Fuck that. That is ridiculous. Like, Franklin, you need to fucking, that's what Franklin needs to do. Franklin needs to like put these things out as like assets for companies. Like, for every company, for every time you hire someone, make sure you give them a fractional share of a Bored Ape. How dope would that be? How dope would that be, right?
I don't know. I really don't want an ape. Just give it to me in Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I'll be fine.
I think a fractional share of a Bored Ape or something like that would be cool. Like, not like it's almost like a retirement plan. Like, yeah, it goes up, it goes down, but for the most part, it's good.
We're gonna be the guys that are like 65-year-olds fucking retiring and taking a picture, the corporate party, holding a picture of an ape, looking sad as shit. Like, you know what I mean, right? They give you this useless fucking gift when you're retired. They take a picture like my whole life, and all I got is a picture of an ape.
No. It's not just a picture of an ape. It's like, it's more than that.
We're going to the definition of NFTs, right?
Well, no, like, think about this. The company buys back your fractional share. So at the time of your retirement, you can sell it for whatever it was worth, or the company is just required to buy that fractional share back off of you at its value. And you can can choose to sell it, or you can hold on to it for a little longer until you reach the maximum amount of money. But you can't do that until you retire. So it's like a retirement plan. It's kind of cool. I think it'd be a good idea. Because then the company is on the hook to buy it back for its going rate. And then when the next person comes in, they'll give them the fractional share, whoever pleases you. I think it's just a cool idea because it gives it utility in some other way. Not to mention, I just think cool things.
I think that brings up a very difficult situation, though, with an asset like that, because exchanges that do that with crypto, they'll allow you to sell something at the all-time high, but they have buyers also coming in, and they have the tokenomics performing regardless. Of an NFT, an asset, and you're forced to sell it back to someone at the all-time high, you don't have that other end money coming in, and you're gonna that economic model will be broken.
Is it broken?
Hey, Ross, Akil, DeFi Dan. Good to see you guys.
Yo.
Just wanted to mention, Akil, that is actually something that's being developed right now for NFTs.
I'm a genius.
Fractional ownership. It's actually there. I actually came up to tell Akil about what's going on and what you can do. That's why I jumped up as well, Nico. Yeah. It's actually there. Akil, it gets so crazy because they've created liquidity pools for NFTs. So it'll be like one collection, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll put 20 NFTs in one collection. And then a token is created, like an Ethereum token, if it's an Ethereum-based NFT. And they pay off. So and these pools work very differently because they buy and they sell on OpenSea as well to keep the floor from going too high or too low, or not too high but too low. So the pool actually works like a bot as well. And what they do is they give you fees, and the fees can be redeemed as a fractionalized, and they give you a token. And the token can be redeemed as a fractionalized NFT. And if you have NFTs stored in there, like your NFTs, and you're providing liquidity so that the buys and sells for the floor can happen, they're just going to constantly give you a token that represents a fractionalized portion of an NFT in that collection. It cannot be any specific NFT, just an NFT. And you can redeem it for a whole NFT that's within the pool. It's a really cool concept.
That's pretty dope.
So, yeah, that's awesome, Nico. And there's also like a simpler version where companies will, Tiffany's one was pretty expensive, right? It was like 80 grand or 100 grand. So in the future, big brands will come out with their hero NFTs, that cost a ridiculous amount, but they'll also come up with, within that same collection, something that's going to be available for everyone via fractional buying, so that a lot more people in the community can feel like they're involved with that NFT project. So they'll implement a really expensive one and an expensive one that everyone can have a share with. So that's definitely the direction a lot of these brands are headed to.
Right on. Well, now I feel like even more of a genius, right, Ross?
100%. So everything about information.
Guys, I've actually been mentioning this stuff for a while. It's just that I consider them, they're derivatives. And when everybody talks about derivatives, everybody thinks like it's another version of a monkey. But no, this is actually a derivative, what I'm telling you. This whole liquidity pool thing and all that stuff. So, and I'm actually very interested in the future, how it's going to work, because, I've read that they're planning on doing longs and shorts on NFTs. Now, how that's going to work, I have no idea, but there is somebody that has proposed. There are people that have proposed these things, and it's pretty wild.
Not a big fan of that, but yeah, I suppose anything can be built, right, like that.
I think that, NFTs are so volatile as is. If you start trading them like stocks and equity, I think that's going to be very problematic. But, are there core NFTs more stable? It's also tough because, let's say someone bought a Bored Ape for 80 and 50, and then they're like, well, the floor's still at 77, but no, Ethereum's half the price of what you pay for it now. You have all these dynamics in there that make things not work financially. It's just so volatile right now. It's very, very difficult to build on top of all of this.
Yeah. Ross, I wholeheartedly agree with you, but somebody's going to build it and somebody's going to work on it. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, like, it just basically, you're stretching the, I get the point. You're using the NFTs as a valuable asset, right? Like, if you bundle a bunch of paintings and then you create a share, right? For the value that fluctuates depending on the markets, right? And then if it drops below certain, you can just pump it up with another NFT, or I don't know, right? Like that's the point. But an NFT is a non-fungible token, right? That's what it is. It's non-fungible. You're trying to fungibilize an asset that has non-fungible assets underneath. So that's interesting for sure. More than anything.
If you're really going to put value behind something like that, it's the same as big brands releasing NFTs. Coca-Cola releases an NFT. They don't have the sub-community to support that. People who actually own crypto and to buy the NFT, that community doesn't exist. So they're NFT flops. I think if someone's going to take a group of NFTs that have value and say, all right, let's bundle these together so this will have equal or more value, I think what's missing there is the company that is governing those assets and the brand. Like, think about, if you had, the Berkshire Hathaway of investments, you look at that name and you're like, they know what they're doing. So to invest in their products. So the company, to me, is more important than those NFTs. Who is governing it? Who is managing it? Who is making decisions? I think that is something that needs to be developed before that index of NFTs would, be solid in value.
Yeah. And fractionalized, that's nothing new. Like, for instance, I own the Bobu, I guess, or I don't know how you say it, but the fractional Azuki one, because I couldn't buy the fucking real one.
Go ahead. Tell us about your bitterness.
Yeah, my bitterness is that I was so pumped back in December when the Azuki was coming out. I was following that shit. I didn't get whitelisted because I don't lick boots around to get that. But I was ready. I had my money. I was ready to go. It all fucking went like in a second. Then I started like looking in OpenSea, and any purchase, any bid that I put got outbidded out, and it went from 2 Ethereums to 5. I think that my last one was around 5 Ethereums, and then it just went crazy to like 8 and 10. I said, no, not meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm bitter. That's probably the only one that I'm really, really bitter at, like not getting my Azuki because people were going fucking apeshit.
I had the same thing with Invisible Friends. I was all over that community. Couldn't get whitelisted. Really liked the artwork, that kind of thing. And then you sort of, you look at it and you're detached from the brand because you don't own it. It's difficult.
Yeah. I really like the art. I really like the concept. I like what they were saying on the, what was it? I think it was Discord, maybe? Yeah, anyways, I like what they were saying about the roadmap and what they were doing. And I don't know, I'm just like into that stuff too, right? But right now, the hype, my hype is over. I don't give a shit about it. So I'm kind of looking back and like, really, I just want to pay 5 Ethereum for that? I mean, like, it's not even, just to get a jacket and maybe an invitation to something. I think, honestly.
That's a stretch. It's nice when you're there at the event, but as an investment and an entry point, that's another thing completely.
Yeah, it's like, I think this was January 7th, 8th, something like that when it came out. So Ethereum was still pretty high up there. So it was a big chunk of money. And I mean, it's not worth what they're giving away and the presents. And then the guy came out as, there were some discussions about him copying the art or being a scammer and shit like that. I don't know if you guys remember the whole drama back in February or March this year. But I don't know, it's insane, dude. I was gonna pay like 10 grand for an NFT, and I don't think it's worth it, honestly. But I got my fractionalized Bogu because I like the art and it was cheap, so I got it.
Fractional ownership of anything, especially NFTs right now, I'm looking at that and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. It's cool. You can trade the value. But if you're not trading the value, I look at it and it's like, so hang on, the actual owner still owns this thing. They control it, and they've got all this extra capital coming in, and there is basically no decision-making paradigms available to the fractional owners. And I also question the legality of it all. How is the fractional ownership legally supported? What jurisdiction supports that? If something went sideways, how would that all be sorted out? There's a lot of things up in the air.
So, Ross, you know that NFT ETFs have come out, right? Like, there's a Bored Ape Yacht Club ETF where you can buy and one token represents, I think, 1/1,000,000th of a Bored Ape. So, and I think the total supply is 9 million. So they own 9 Bored Apes,
right?
But that's the way they're working it out right now.
When you say ETF in which market do you mean?
KuCoin. The KuCoin created. It's like an ETF.
Fuck that, Nico.
Whoa.
Like an ETF.
Whoa. DeFi Daniel.
Real.
But it works like an ETF, Daniel. It's like a.
Anything can work like an ETF.
So hold on a second. The price of the token, the price of the token fluctuates the price of Bored Apes, really.
Dude.
The supply and demand side too.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they pull off the math, but that's just the way it works. It's 9 Bored Apes, and it works like an ETF.
You got me excited there. Do you guys know about this was called Melon Protocol, and now it's called Enzyme?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay. Same shit, right? You can create your own things and, like your own funds, basically. It's an ETF. So, you got me excited. I thought it was like something real, but no.
He said I thought it was something real. It is 11:23 a.m. 11:23 a.m. on the East Coast, 8:23 a.m. on the Pacific West Coast here in the United States, or if you're just in North America. My name is Akil Patterson. Ross McDonald is filling in today for David Gokhshtein. If you have not checked this out, make sure you go to YouTube. That's where we are Monday through Thursday here on the Breakdown, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Folks, we've got about 5 more minutes, or about 7 more minutes, actually. We got 7 more minutes before we wrap up this morning. Want to get through a couple of quick headlines just to let you all know how boring things are. It's not really boring. It's crazy out there. The world is crazy. Your ex-wives are crazy. Your best friends are crazy. Everybody has lost their damn mind. Yes, that's what I'm reporting on. The world has lost its mind. Let's go with crazy news. We said yesterday that Loretta Lynn, longtime musician, born a coal miner's daughter, passed away. Now people are reporting that her death was more tragic than first reported, saying that she was poor and destitute. Don't know if these are going to be all true, but make sure you go back and read up on yourself. Like I said, Joe Biden plans to visit Florida today. DeSantis is going to gravel at his feet. It'll be a beautiful picture. A 20-year-old Purdue student was killed in a dorm room, and the roommate is in custody. Yes, that's right. A 20-year-old college student was murdered, and their roommate is being held in custody. I'm just going to say this now. That is probably the most terrifying thing I've ever heard. Like 20 years old and your roommate is being held in custody. That means you guys couldn't agree on something very, very small. We'll figure it out. Trump's latest delay tactic in his Mar-a-Lago defense is he's going to go to the Supreme Court to try to get it delayed. Let's see what happens there. What happens if Putin decides to cut off his losses in Ukraine? That's right. Russian President Vladimir Putin annexed 4 more areas of the Ukraine earlier this week, and now it looks like it ain't going so well. Putin, let's just say this. Sometimes you got to tuck your leg between your tail and you got to run. Take what you got and go home. A fire department of New York paramedic who responded to 9/11 to be ready to last after tragic murder. Our thoughts and prayers are with that family. And a missing man in Oregon was found. That's every other day. I don't even know why I bring up these headlines sometimes. If you are interested in finding out more about your headlines, do us a favor. Don't sit around and just go to your mainstream media sites. Check out some other articles, news breaks, and as always, come to G Media for all your crypto and blockchain news. My name is Akil Patterson. This is Breakdown, episode number 70. All right, gentlemen, back to the conversation about whatever we were talking about in the NFT and DeFi world.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. So if there's an NFT ETF and whoever's controlling those NFTs, do they only put up like 40 or 49% of the equity of that NFT, or is there more available where someone could potentially buy out and control that NFT?
So these are actual I think KuCoin strictly does them. So they own the NFTs. So for I believe they're all backed by the NFTs. So exchange. And they also have a punks one too, a punks ETF.
The idea is that the value of these NFTs will go up, so the token will go up, right?
I mean, that's the idea with every token, Daniel.
I understand that. But I mean, in this case, you're creating all kinds of mechanisms to. And at the end of the day, KuCoin wins because you're buying it, you're paying a fee and whatnot, and they actually hold the assets, so it's even like more convoluted.
So you see, that's the thing. That's the part that I want to know. I actually don't know if you can. Let's say you somehow end up with 1 million tokens. Can you redeem it for a Bored Ape, or do you have to sell it, get the ETH, and then go buy a Bored Ape? Like, what happens here?
Oh yeah, it's the latter. I guess my assumption is that you're gonna sell the ETH or whatever and buy your own if you wanted to, because you'll be removing the underlying asset from that they're using to prop the token, right?
So with the from the trading volume of just those 9 Bored Apes, they can probably end up buying another one in less than a year. That's a very strong possibility. Daniel, that derivative that I was talking about before, where creating the pools and like you put your NFTs in the pools and they give you back a token, and you can redeem that token for an NFT if you wanted to. You can also redeem it for Ethereum. You know, like the way that's an actual product in my eyes. The way they did it, it's actually pretty complicated but simple, and like that one I think can work like something like an ETF sooner or later. Not now, not anytime soon. It would have to get built and expanded upon properly. But something like that I feel can, because the way those pools work, they're blind pools. So they're blind in a way where the average person puts in their NFT, but you don't put like a rare one. You're only going to put floor NFTs in there. And then when you go to redeem the NFT, you're not redeeming any NFT, like whatever NFT you want to redeem. You can only redeem whatever's next in line, because it works like a queue. I don't know if you program or not, but it's like first in, first out. So it should work that way. At least I'm assuming it will.
Sounds like a Luna waiting to happen. Here's the thing.
There's nothing being created. There's nothing being created.
Hear me out. Just hear me out. So if you're just like, let's go back to the, you have gold, you propping an ETF or whatever, or fine art. No one is trading the fine art. The underlying asset is not being traded at a different market outside of your.
Yes, it is. That's the part that you're missing. This whole thing is to buy and sell NFTs on OpenSea. Not on SushiSwap. These are SushiSwap pools and NFTX pools.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So they are creating.
So your underlying asset.
Hold on. All of the profits are being done from the trading volume on the exchanges where the actual NFT is being sold. So they're giving you a portion of the ETH from the trading volume.
Oof, that sounds like an SEC waiting to happen.
Why? But that's what goes on with all exchanges.
It's like the more you explain it, the worse it sounds.
The same way that PancakeSwap and Uniswap work, Daniel. It's the same exact concept. It's just been expanded.
Look at them now.
Yeah, but the SEC isn't chasing them for the fees. They're chasing them for the listings.
Well, they're chasing anything that has a proposition of value if you buy it. So this sounds like a proposition of value.
Yes, somewhat, but this is with NFTs and it works a little differently. You're not wrong here, but this is trading volume within the NFT marketplace. It's not what you're saying it is. Like if this was with tokens and staking and all of that, yes, no, I agree with you. But this actually has like where the money's coming from and all that, that's all accounted for. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah, and granted, for anyone listening, I don't know anything about it. I just know what Nico was explaining, and I'm just gonna try to.
You know how PancakeSwap works already, and how staking works over there, and all that. It's the same exact concept. It's just you got to put NFTs in the whole thing, and the way they did it was they created a synthetic token in the middle of the whole thing.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me stop you right there. So let's just dissect this thing, right? So who puts these NFTs in this KuCoin ETF?
No. We're not talking about the KuCoin ETF. We're not. We're talking about the pools now. Like I told you, the ETF, you're correct. The ETF is a little weird. You can't redeem it. But my argument that I'm making in the future, you will be able to do it. Where I'm telling you, you'll be able to redeem an NFT or the Ethereum, and that's actually what's going on right now. It's not even in the future. It's just happening now already. And the value is not coming out of nowhere because all of the fractionalized portion of the NFT that you're receiving is from the trading volume that's happening.
I don't know, dude. I'll check it out. Obviously, it's interesting
Do you only use OpenSea as a because there are aggregators out there. Like if you use m.xyz, that's an aggregator, and you can see NFTs on I think 4 platforms. They have Foundation, X2Y2, and OpenSea. Or is it LookRare, X2Y2, and OpenSea?
It looks rare. D2, Y2, and yeah.
So you'll be able to see what I'm talking about because they also have on gem.xyz. Actually, no, they have the Sushi Swap and the NFTX Yield. You have to find the collection that's within these pools. So they have Bored Apes in these pools. They have on-chain monkeys in these pools. They have there's a ton of different in the NFTX Yield pools. I'll send you links to all this stuff. When I was reading about it, I was like, holy shit. This is a whole different, it's expanding. It's just the entire market is expanding.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be enough players on both sides. There's gonna be enough players that the single players can be on both sides of the trade and make this thing collapse. As in, they hold whatever NFTs that these pools are having, propping the value of the token or whatever. So they can play that market because they own the NFTs. They own 10 apes just because they bought them at $200 a year ago. And they also can just have enough liquidity to play with this pools or this.
Daniel, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I left out one pool. You can also create liquidity pools. It's not just staking pools. You can also create liquidity pools with the NFTs within the same pool. So, let's say you put in a Bored Ape Yacht Club and it's 100 ETH. The floor is 100 ETH. You put the Bored Ape and you put the 100 ETH.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
It works exactly the way I'm telling you. Like a liquidity pool and a staking pool from Uniswap. They just recreated it, created a synthetic token, and put NFTs within the pools instead of putting like a USDC ETH pool. You got a Bored Ape Yacht Club ETH pool.
Well, folks, it is 11:33. They're 11:35 on the East Coast. Yes, it is 11:35 on the East Coast, 8:35 a.m. here on the Pacific West Coast. My name's Akil Patterson. My co-host my co-host David Gokhshtein is off today, but Ross McDonald was able to join us. We were able to go on Twitter and whatever this is. Okay, I don't know what this is. Why did somebody just email me? But it is 11:35. That means it is time for us to wrap up the show. So, gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Ross, do you have anything before we go?
That's it. Have a great day, everyone. Stay positive and enjoy the day.
All right, folks. My name is Akil Patterson. You've been watching The Breakdown, episode number 70, sponsored by Unstoppable Domains. If you want to be somebody, be unstoppable. Get you an unstoppable domain. And furthermore, if you're watching us, support us. Go buy some G Media merch, because guess what? You support us, you rock this gear, you might just be the next Akil Patterson. Who knows? But as always, folks, have a great day and an even better tomorrow.